Project Catalyst. Project Catalyst has empowered hundreds of projects on Cardano ecosystem and bootstrap the ecosystem. So with Project Catalyst and community, really empowered and developed the bedrock for Cardano ecosystem. And I wonder like what's next? So we got really amazing like homegrown popular applications. I think it's really the time for Cardano project to see outside of Cardano. And I think this Battle of the Builders is a really nice springboard that has the capability to get Cardano project to see outside of Cardano. Because Battle of the Builders, thank you, Cardano Foundation, has a really great lineup of Cardano experts and also acceleration program outside of Cardano and other blockchain protocol as well. So I think it's really an opportunity for homegrown project to go for venture capital route. If you go to venture capital, obviously it's a very narrow selection and they run for return of investment. But going through venture capital route give you much more wider network, broader mentorship network and connections. So I think it's this really Battle Builders is an amazing opportunity for Cardano project to see outside of Cardano. Actually, EMURGO thinks along the line as Cardano Foundation, and I would like to touch upon our recent announcement, ANTLA, specifically IBEX initiative. It is our sector-specific innovation and investment platform that has focuses on blockchain. So this program really enables project on Cardano or Web3 company to work with established companies that has this problem statement. So if you know more about this ANTLA's program or IBEX program, EMURGO has master program at 12 o'clock today. And day 2, we actually have really amazing panel with EMURGO, ANTLA, and McKinsey. So feel free to come visit our booth, and we are very, very happy to talk about what our ANTLA program is. Really coming back to this Battle of the Builders, I think it's really amazing opportunity for Cardano project, and I really want to congratulate Cardano Foundation for lining up these amazing judges and also experienced, sophisticated investors for Cardano ecosystem. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, so my name is Jacob. I'm with Matify, and we're building an easy-to-use fintech infrastructure that's making finance more secure for humans and AI. And the reason we're doing this is because although a lot has been said here around infrastructure, we believe that there are some issues that still need addressing. Let me just jump into it. So we believe that today's custody solutions and wallets are still very much broken. First thing, security. If you're following the news, you already know that literally every day, millions or tens of millions are being stolen. Last month, we had a big hack from Singaporean exchange that lost $40 million. 3 months ago, we had a big hack in Indian exchange that lost 240 million. It is not working, although we are trying our best. So we still need to be more vigilant, and phishing as one of the key methods is rampant. And one of the reasons for that is that the legacy architectures that are being used today are disconnected from cryptographic proofs. I will get into this in a second. Second problem, how do we want to onboard another billion users if we are still using legacy addresses? It's very confusing. It's very hard to read. It's hard to determine who I'm sending the money to. So the universal send to name system doesn't really exist here. And fat fingering is relatively easy. Now, the third problem is, how do I know who am I sending money to? Which means the addresses are not connected to the identity. And we cannot tell that for sure. And that's mainly a big issue, especially if we're talking to transactions with the institutions. So when I'm depositing money to a custodian or an exchange, it's still in the zone of, trust me, bro, this is my address, this is actually me. But there is no cryptographic connection between those. And therefore, AML and KYC and travel rule regulations that are being more and more strict are really hard to comply with. So what we need and how we solve it is by building an infrastructure that is obvious and easy to use, which means we replace all the addresses with globally unique names such as Alice, and you can send literally every type of digital asset across all chains to the name Alice. So it's Revolut-like experience, it's PayPal-like experience, and yet it's fully decentralized. The second thing is you want to make sure that this system is secure and private. So what we do is we compute for each and every pair of users a unique receiving address spaces. So when I'm sending money to Alice, it will land on a receiving address that only me and Alice could actually compute. So if Bob is sending money to Alice, it will land on a different address. So essentially this means two things. First, Alice can actually post her name wherever she wants. She can post it on her Instagram, on her website, on her invoice. Anyone can send her money, but no one knows how much money she has. Second thing, it's really, really secure because she doesn't expose herself. And there is a cryptographic connection between the sender and receiver, which is crucial for institutions. So imagine, instead of sending to a random address that Binance or Coinbase shows you, sending to @Binance as a name and making sure that only you could actually compute this receiving address with Binance. They will know that only this relation would work. And no one else could actually compute this receiving address. That's essential in order to make sure that the security is in place. Now, and essentially it means that no phishing is anymore possible. There is no even necessity to log in and use your passwords. So this vector of attack is actually gone as well. And the third part is much more compliant because not only we've replaced all those addresses with unique names, but also we've built an off-chain cryptographic proof that allows you to connect your off-chain crypto proof of identity done with third-party providers such as SumSup or any other else. And we take it and we attach it to your name and you can share it via encrypted chat that we built with your counterparty before you start any interactions. So you've got actually trust in the system. Now, and this is all running off of 9 patent applications and 1 million of proprietary and open source code that we've built for the last 4 years. So essentially we're building 3 things. We're building a white label wallet that's also AI agent ready. We're building a custody system. And we've got our servers just installed in Brinks Vault. I'll get into it. And we're building a physical hardware wallets that are actually already done that we built together with Tangem and Samsung. And the custody system is the product that we partner up with, that we've partnered up for with Brinks Global. So Brinks is a Fortune 500 company with vaults all around the globe, with super secure military-grade vaults all around the place. And we're the sole exclusive provider of the technology, software and hardware, and they are providing the physical infrastructure. And that's how we built a SaaS custody solution together with them. So in terms of competitive matrix, we are basically self-custody wallet, institutional wallet. We are names provider and chat at the same time. The market size, only for the custody part, was estimated at close to $500 billion in 2022. And now with the ETFs and with more institutional adoption, it is estimated to go to roughly around 4 billion in the next 4 trillion in the next couple of years. Business model is pretty straightforward. So we built a white label Matter wallet. We charge here one-off revenue, one-off fees. We built also the custody product that's got recurring revenue together with Brinks in a SaaS version and on-premise version. We sell the hardware wallets in the form of those cards, and we also sell the names. And we've raised so far $4.6 million with 1.6 million in revenue so far. And we are now moving into the Series A, and we're going to focus mostly on the further product development, especially the custody system development. And I couldn't be more proud and happy to work with a bunch of super smart guys including our CEO and co-founder Michał Pospieszalski. He's been a white hat hacker for the US government for several years. Also Billy Mullins, who's actually been in the space for over 20 years, 20 million years, not yet. But he's been working with Cardano as well prior to that. And he's been an SVP of Goldman Sachs. Chris Autumn, the founder of Open Transaction, which is one of our core technologies, and Keith Lieberman, who's the CFO of Relativity that was sold for over $3 billion. So that's all from my side. I would love to have a chat if you guys are interested in technology. Yeah, thank you very much.
You've mentioned that one of the very significant competitive advantage of your solution is AI integration.
Yes.
Obviously, this space is already stacked with a lot of custodial and enterprise custodial solutions. What is this AI angle that you have in mind, and how does it differentiate with, for example, open source AI plugins and other compliance solutions that allow native AI integration?
Great question. So I didn't make it to get into this because of the time restraints, but basically, because of how the infrastructure is built and because of we can actually identify who's on the other side, we can provide a cryptographically secured network for those agents, meaning the infrastructure that we built is really good for those agents because they cannot be phished or spoofed easily, because they can actually ask via this encrypted chat that we've built, who are you, and show me the proof that you are actually you. So Bob can show his proof, or Coinbase can show their proof. So in this sense, the AI agents will be actually productive, but at the same time, they will be secure to operate on a sandboxed parts of your wallet. We are going to probably by the end of this week showcase the demo of the wallet working together with the AI. The beta of the wallet is already there, but the AI agent is close to finalizing the alpha version, I would say.
Thank you.
Sure.
Good morning. Could you speak to the 9 patents that you have? What does that mean? And do you have a moat that you can arguably say that's a defensibility compared to your competitors?
Sure. So we don't have the patents yet. We are in the patenting process. We filed those 9 patents. 5 of them are without any objections. 4 are still, under review. And most of this IP is related to how we compute the addresses and how we compute the addresses by the private keys of the sender and receiver. And definitely, this is one of because we are addressing mostly the institutional client, this is definitely one of the key advantages that we have, apart from years of work and coding, that put us in a very good position in terms of the competitive advantages.
One more question here. I'm from LCX. My name is Monty. How do you engage with the larger crypto community and Cardano community? Is there a utility token part of your ecosystem, and how does it work?
Yes, so there will be a utility token because for the database of the names, you need some kind of, place where you store the names that has been reserved so that there is no double reservation. So we'll issue a token out of Switzerland for that purpose, and that's going to be the main utility to secure the database, and it's going to be merge mined together with Bitcoin, most probably. Now, in terms of the Cardano integration, we are now in talks with the Catalyst project because we want to introduce, we want to support ADA for all our clients. And we want to integrate it within the wallet, obviously.
Hi, Nate from EMURGO here.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 3, the white label, custody, and hardware, where have you seen the most traction so far?
I would say the wallet. So we've built a couple of those. For example, for Casper Labs and for a couple of different clients. But that was also because we didn't have a massive partner such as Brinks. Right now we are onboarding first clients for the alpha, and they have got literally hundreds or thousands of clients all around the world. So we consider them as a main channel for the distribution and the sales of a custody system.
Thanks, Jakub, for the great presentation. One question, the 1.6 million in revenue that you have since today, how are they built? Where do they come from?
So that comes definitely from a couple of clients that we onboarded for the wallet product, not for the custody, because it's not there yet. We are now onboarding people for alpha.
All right, thank you. I think we have to come to an end, right?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi. My name is Sarah. I'm a Cardano ambassador, a constitutional committee member, and the founder of Socius. Socius is a decentralized talent marketplace on Cardano that brings trust to job matching. Do you remember these high-profile cases of people forging their academic and work certificates? So these cases involved Yahoo, MIT, and the Indian government. Some of them lost their jobs. Others got arrested. And these are not just a few bad apples. A staggering 55% of CVs have false information. And this happens because paper and PDF-based credentials, work certificates and educational certificates can be forged very easily. If you use Canva, Photoshop, you can do it in a few minutes to create exactly the same certificates. And that's why hiring companies, they rely on background check agencies. However, these background checks are expensive and time-consuming. That's why it's a $14 billion industry. So imagine a decentralized talent marketplace where you can instantly verify their work and academic certificates. So this is exactly what we've built. We've built a talent marketplace built on trust, where all the talents certificates, education certificates, work certificates can be verified on-chain, on Cardano, to prove that they're authentic. And basically, this platform makes background checks unnecessary. So what are the benefits of using this kind of platform? For hiring organizations, obviously, they don't need to pay for the background checks. So they eliminate the cost and time for hiring qualified candidates with confidence. And for former employers and academic institutions, they're getting a lot of inquiries from background check agencies or directly from hiring organizations, whether these candidates have actually graduated from this university or actually worked for Google, Amazon, etc. So these are inquiries that they're getting. But once these academic institutions or companies issue certificates using our platform, they don't need to answer these inquiries anymore. So therefore saving costs on employing people manning the phone and answering emails. And obviously for job seekers, they can own their identity, own their credential, and securely share their credentials selectively, whatever they want to share with the potential hiring companies. So we have quite a few clients, and I want to just share a client called EnergyX. So this is a Series B company doing sustainable energy. And so they wanted to hire through Socius, and they hired actually 2 full-time employees and 1 executive using our service. And they saved thousands of dollars in background check fees and commission fees. And we have more than 30,000 companies like EnergyX using our platform. And we've raised more than $2 million from VCs, angels, and grants. And we are generating revenue of $60,000 per month, making us a profitable company. And we are also supported officially by the Tokyo Metropolitan Government. So we are targeting the intersection of two massive markets. Background checks market, $14 billion industry on the one hand, and $758 billion recruiting market on the other. And both of these markets are growing rapidly. Our business model is simple and effective. We have freemium subscriptions, and we collect commission fees for successful matches. So in the talent marketplace industry, we are filling a crucial gap. So while LinkedIn connects professionals and HireRight focuses on background checks, we offer both. And based on blockchain self-sovereign identity and DIDs and verifiable credentials, our clients can verify the work certificates, education certificates instantly using our platform. And that is something our competitors like Doc.io is not offering. We have an experienced and diverse team. So myself, I have more than 16 years of experience in the industry, and I've exited a venture before. Our head of product, Elaine, she taught herself Haskell when she was 17, and she brings in her functional programming, Haskell programming expertise from Sunday Labs and Obsidian. And we have designers, data scientists, engineers, business developers who have built products that are loved by millions of people. So we are not actually looking for funding, but we're looking for partners. So especially venture capitalist investors who are here today, we are looking to help your portfolio companies. So if you could refer your portfolio companies to Socius, then we can give them exclusive benefits, and we can give them free services and discounted services so that we can offer, so that you can offer value beyond capital. Okay, so with your support, we want to give everyone the chance to make a difference. Thank you, and I would love to answer your questions.
Hey, great presentation. Can you speak a little bit more about what are you using the blockchain for? What kind of blockchain, and what's the footprint of the blockchain in the block space?
Very good question. Thank you for that. So we are actually using Atala Prism, now rebranded as Hyperledger Identus. So we are using this self-sovereign identity platform to issue decentralized identifiers, DIDs, and verifiable credentials. So these work certificates, education certificates, and we also do KYC certificates, are issued as verifiable credential using basically Cardano. So Atala Prism Hyperledger Identus uses Cardano as a VDR. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, yes, great presentation, thank you. This is Temujin from Wanchain. I just like your thoughts. It seems that long-term, a lot of this platform will depend on how many of these companies, these enterprises that you can onboard to issue these certificates in the first place. How are you going to approach that to make sure that there's sufficient coverage so that the platform is providing the value it promises?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we are approaching both sides. So the companies that want to eliminate that background checks, right? So hiring companies, and obviously there is a demand for that. And on the other side, educational institutions and companies that are that have hired people and then they want to issue work certificates, education certificates. So we are actually targeting both sides, and especially for the issuing side, we are targeting places where people are, a lot of CVs and certificates are forged. So for example, we have a full-time member in Cameroon, and in Cameroon it's a really serious issue that most of the certificates can be fake, or people buy certificates for a fee, and there's a really tangible needs. And we are onboarding educational institutions from these countries. We're starting from places where the services are needed most dearly. Thank you.
Yeah, one more question on the incentivization of the community. It seems like the market is a winner-takes-all market, so there will be one standard kind of to authenticate the diplomas and things. How do you incentivize the community or like people to use it? I totally understand it from the B2B side. It makes sense for the hiring, but how do we get the applicants on the platform?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So for that exact reason, we actually follow W3C standards and open badges standards. So, and these W3C standards and open badges standards are global standards that are adopted by many of universities and many organizations actually follow these standards. And we made it sure that, yes, like they can use our platform, but the certificates that are issued through our platform can be compatible with other platforms. So we have our own identity wallet, and if they receive their identity wallet, but if they want to switch to another identity wallet, if they want to switch to another platform, they can still maintain their certificates that received from Socius so that they can go to migrate to different platforms. So make sure that we follow the global standards that so that we are future-proof. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation, and congrats on the success that you had so far. It's really impressive.
Thank you.
This is a perfect use case, in my opinion, for blockchain. But there is also a but, because it has been around since years. I think we've seen that 5, 6 years ago already, and I haven't seen a breakthrough yet. So my question ties into probably the previous questions. Why are you going to be the one that makes the breakthrough, and what role is LinkedIn and other major players playing in that context, or is that just an exit strategy?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So while the idea of self-sovereign identity and DIDs, verifiable credentials, have been around for years, actually we haven't seen actual practical application yet, right? And actually, so the system, the underlying infrastructure that we're using, Teleprism, Hyperledger, Identus, it just became open source. So it went from version 1.4 to 2.0. And that happened November last year. So it's about almost 1 year ago. And so that was the catalytic point, and also that was the beginning of many different organizations, not just Socius, using this platform to build. So it actually, we finally reached the point where we can actually have customers, and we can deploy to production. Our wallet is deployed on iOS and Android. Before November 2023, it was not possible to do that. So now that we are ready, product is ready, the system is ready, and Socius, we believe that we have the best team to win in this game. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have to cut you off, so we might have an inflection point here. Thank you very much.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. I'm Henrik, and today I'm happy to introduce you to Fairway, the professional identity solution and trust network. We have run into a problem. In the West, the working population is aging and shrinking and struggling to fill crucial skill gaps. And meanwhile, in the developing countries, there's this young, vibrant, talented population who is hungry for challenge and work, but is struggling to access global opportunities. So how should we solve this imbalance? Maybe we should change our immigration policies or build infrastructure that would attract talent. Is this still enough? Well, this is what me and my co-founder Heikki started asking in 2021. So we did something quite interesting and different. We packed our bags and traveled from Helsinki all the way to Ethiopia, a country where my parents used to live and where young talent is on the rise. And we went there to see what's on the other opposite side of the global job market. On this trip, then, we actually ended up hiring 2 very skilled young software developers who not only brought new skills to our team, but actually also new perspectives and really elevated our team. One of them is Ermias. Ermias, are you here? Could you raise up? Yeah, Ermi is here, one of our guys. And Yeah, so this whole hiring experience was like really easy, straightforward and rewarding for us in comparison what it would be, for example, in Finland. And that got us wondering, like, why are not other companies utilizing this opportunity of the talent in other markets? This is a big opportunity. So as it turns out, most companies, they want to verify the talent's identity and also the professional background beforehand. Also there's the compliance aspect on global hires. And while your like verifiable identity might be easy to get in places like Finland, trying to do it internationally from places like Africa might be a completely different story. So that got us wondering, like, hey, why don't we use Cardano? It's already made a name of itself in Ethiopia and Africa, and build a professional identity for people and job seekers. And while on the topic, why don't we use blockchain, also something else? Why don't we incentivize data creation in these markets? And yeah, combining, like, we could take these businesses here who are struggling with finding talent and make them pay. Like, why don't businesses in the West pay for the verifications and the verifiable data? And then we could push those commissions to those who issue the data, so we could have a mechanism to create more self-sovereign data. And combining that skilled talent and blockchain verification, we could actually create maybe millions of new opportunities globally and bridge these skill gaps. So that's what we are working on right now with our team. In the core of it is our credential commission protocol on top of Cardano. So the aim of that is to build trust in the global job market and also introduce token commissions to verifiable credentials. So yeah. Together with that approach, we believe if we are successful, we could take the story of Ermias and turn it not only the story of Ermias, but the story of millions. And this is really the core of Fairway and what we are here to build. We want to really change how the global job market works. So far, we've been studying what incentivizes identity issuers. So we partnered up with leading universities in Ethiopia, a couple of them, and we issued real graduates in Ethiopia, real university proof of graduation credentials already. And we could do this much more, and we have more partners lined up, but we are not like ready to go that big level yet because we are building still some of our tech. Yeah, what's right now happening with Fairway? We are an early stage startup, so we are focusing on building the wallet and also getting our hands dirty with all the technology. There is this all upcoming tech like in Midnight and Cardano participating. And simultaneously, we are working actually on a Catalyst-funded proposal which is trying to integrate Ethiopian national identity to our system. So we are currently discussing with them, and our hope would be maybe one of the first companies to bring real national identity on chain and then bridge it to like whatever we have in Finland. Here's a picture of our team located in Helsinki/Addis Ababa sometimes. And in here we are searching for experienced advisors and also investors. So I'm actually glad to announce we have a token pre-sale going on right now. So we are doing a pre-sale now and a public sale later after some time later in the market. And tomorrow we are publishing our very own light paper, and we are sharing that privately first with like interested investors. So if you are interested, we are in the startup street. Please come discuss with us. Tomorrow we can share with those people the light paper. And thank you very much for this opportunity. We are happy to be here present, and I hope you join us and together we could change the story of millions. Thank you.
I have another question on building growth. How do you incentivize users? What's the role of the token, and how will you like conquer the market over there?
Yeah, the token incentivizes. Basically, idea is that the businesses in the future will be purchasing the token in order to request verifications through chain. So we are utilizing blockchain verifications and smart contracts for that. So we are not a centralized point of data. And our system could be used through other also recruitment platforms or something like our friends here at Socios. So we are not like building a platform, but we are building a trust network for incentivized credential issuing. So supporting that ecosystem growth, and the tokens will be then distributed to credential issuers like universities or whatever identity issuers, headhunters, so on within the network. Thank you.
Hi, Mike from faculty here. Could you elaborate, please, a bit on your monetization mechanism? I have two-part questions. So first, Is the credentials and identity verification a core part of your solution, or do you intend to include some sort of job marketplace for employers to post jobs and so on?
The core of it is the protocol, and the idea is also like decentralized trust moving and incentivization. So other partners could also build on top of our protocol, like our friends here, and also we could be building things like this in the future, more in the light paper also, but it's not limited to only us building something like a job platform or something.
Thank you. And to the second part of my question, as a person that hired a fair amount of people, quite familiar with the process, and credentials and verification is just a small part of the costs included with hiring of the person. If you look at standard recruitment agency, the commission is 6 to 12 months of age. Usually the most expensive part of the solution is the finding process, the recruitment process, the onboarding and discussion process. Do you intend to provide some solutions that would tap into this lucrative part of the journey and bring a monetization in some form to your token holders?
One of the difficulties is that if we want to do this kind of processing, for example, on a technology basis, let's say an AI or something, where should the data rely? So like let's all put the data on LinkedIn and they process it. So the idea that we could use zero knowledge and this identity solution to actually aggregate data to some places without people revealing that. And there's like a lot of things that could be built when we have incentivization model to incentivize and give commissions to those who gave the data in the first place, like the universities, skill testers and more. So we could build an ecosystem of different stakeholders who come and bring the data and build on top of it. So all these kind of solutions could be built by us or by somebody else on top of what we are building. So it's essentially just the identity and who gets to own it and who gets to pay for or reward it.
Hey Henrik, I'm really a big fan of what you're doing. My question is more on the technology roadmap.
Yeah.
Do you feel you can build everything you just said right now on Cardano, or do you really need Midnight?
Cardano nowadays allows the zero knowledge stuff, though. Some of these features that we want could be also just deployed through zero knowledge on Cardano. Midnight also, we are like in the Midnight community and trying to understand how it works. Like, could be a hybrid dApp in the future utilizing both or like a solution. The goal is to have the users holding their own data, and there's different use cases when you want to show the whole data or just some sort of hash for it. So I think the hybrid of both words is like the direction. But yeah.
I think that's a yes or no question. So what you presented, can you build that with the BLS signatures on Cardano right now, or are you dependent on Midnight doing a full launch for you to progress in the building?
At this moment, we are dependent on the Midnight, but we are currently discussing with many Cardano builders who have the technical ability to actually deploy it on Cardano. So we will learn during this event as well.
Thank you, Hendrik. We have to move to the next startup. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, judges and friends. My name is Hian Mai. Oh, thank you very much. What do I hope I press the correct. Yes, and I'm the CEO of Carbon Map. But today I'm here to present you an opportunity to make money, create employment, and regenerate our planet at the same time. So what is Carbon Map? Carbon Map is an AI-enabled software for project management for nature-based solutions. And earlier this year, we signed a contract with World Bank, and last year we signed a contract with a sub-portfolio company of Gen Zero, which is a climate investment arm of Temasek Holding, which is the sovereign wealth fund of Singapore. And one third of our revenue comes from carbon credits. Carbon credits is highly valuable, even though high quality carbon credit has a very short supply in the market. So, the shortage of supply and the heightened demand is going to be even more aggregated in the future because of the green policy paradigm shift across the world. So the huge funding gap is caused by the challenges in deployments into nature-based into carbon credit, because it is highly risky and it's very high quantum. And this is where we believe that there's an opportunity for for the yeah, so this is where the market mechanism is failing hard, and because carbon credit is difficult and require a lot of funding, even though nature and carbon is necessary for our survival. So the solution we are presenting right now is to reduce the risk and make it easier for investor to enter into the carbon credit market in earlier phase, and hence unlocking supply. How does it work? Carbon Map will provide token-gated insights and assessment into the projects, and token prices will be discounted at the beginning and will be much more expensive earlier on when risks are a lot lower. And when it reaches the credit issuance point, then the token price is the same as the carbon credit in the public markets. Carbon market has always been opaque because investors are not ready to be transparent about how much they earn per project. But there is a huge push for transparency and decentralization because of the recent scandal in the market. So there is no better time than now. Who are the users of carbon of such a solution that is going to be investment onto nature-based solutions? We are going to have existing investors who are already in the nature-based space, who are new to the Web3 space, or a bit apprehensive about it. We will have community members who are interested in the nature-based space, but haven't had the opportunity to enter the space because the minimum ticket size is very high. We also have investment advisors who are willing to learn and spend money to learn more about the nature-based space as a new asset class. And at the same time, even for the payment for the communities member, they're going to be the new user for the markets. And it is a huge opportunity in the markets. And these are some examples of the business models that we can have for Carbon Map as we provide fundraising arms for these carbon projects. So in case you are wondering whether we are easily copied, it's actually really hard to copy us because we are very community focused and it takes a very long time to build up relationship with communities. We have deep expertise into certifications and standards, which again take a long time to build up. And we believe that with the decentralization and the focus of the Cardano support of the Cardano community, we will be able to bring this to market. So my CTO is also my elder brother, my one and only elder brother. I think I wouldn't be here without him. In 2020, he told me that if I don't leave Google now and do something meaningful in life, I will never leave Google, I will retire there. So thank you, if you are sitting in the audience right now, for pulling me out of Google. No regrets, and the best is yet to be. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. Just a question from my side. You mentioned at the beginning a partnership or collaboration with Temasek Holdings. Could you elaborate a bit on that?
Oh, so it is not a direct collaboration with Temasek Holding, but basically Temasek Holding has a climate investment arm called Gen Zero, and they have basically two investment into nature-based solution. One is New Forest and one is Aja. And we have been working with Aja since June 2022, and New Forest is looking into some of the projects that they are trying to enter into some of the project in Indonesia that we have already secured. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. With regards to building communities around the world, how scalable is that? Because it sounds to me that's not, technology can be easily deployed. You have to invest in people on the ground. There seems to be a lot of labor, man hours involved. Help me understand better that that's scalable.
Yes. Thank you very much for the question. That is super on point. So I understand very well that building relationship with communities is very difficult. It takes a long time. So our approach is that we will find a suitable local partners who have been around on the ground for at least 10 years or more, and they have demonstrated a very deep relationship with the community, have a lot of influence over the communities, and we believe that they have an alignment with our mission, which is to align the local livelihood with the global climate interest. So if we believe that they are the right partners, we would then upscale them and make them more scalable and maximize their impact through the platform, through our technology. And part of this effort is to help them to raise funds more effectively, because right now, for example, we have 3 projects in Indonesia, and we are basically raising at about 10, 15, between 7 to 15 millions for between 7 to 15% of the projects of the credits when it arrives. And for Ethiopia, for example, we have 2 million hectares raising 60 millions, and the percentage is still under discussion. So these are examples of like traditionally our customers are very big institutions, but they are, because of the situation in Ethiopia as well as the market conditions and the interest rates being very high. So our customers are actually getting more willing to open up to investors from Cardano, and and the technology also helps them to kind of minimize the need to constantly respond to investor, because investor can have real time monitoring through our platform and so on. So I hope that answers your question. But I don't have an easy solution for scaling communities, but we believe that this is the right approach for the right impact.
Thank you. Thank you, Yan Mai. Just one quick thing, great presentation. Congratulations for leaving Google and starting up your own shop. I think that deserves an applause, because that's how everything starts in our space. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my first speech in my life. I have never had to raise funds, so thank you very much.
You've done a good job in the presentation. What's the status of the company? Did you raise some funds? Did you create a token, or is everybody full-time at the moment already? In like, where do you stand in terms of incorporation?
We are 100% bootstrap. We have never raised fund before, and we have been very fortunate that we have had great customers, and we are servicing our customer full-time. Last week we have 5 contracts that is in the pipeline, and I'm trying to negotiate them at the same time. I think fundraising for the project itself is what we want to do, and we believe that this is the right way to scale the markets. We want to channel more money into the project itself, and we also believe that your upside is a lot higher. I know everybody want to invest in the technology, but invest in impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Yan Mai. Congratulations on your first pitch. We have to move on. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Manuel Mertl. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Techbase. Techbase is a web platform that allows buyers of physical products to verify product authenticity by using NFC technology without the need for a dedicated mobile application. Our vision is to create the world's largest collection of virtual items representing physical assets. And we will get there by providing an easy and secure way for buyers of physical products to verify product authenticity. The problem is that counterfeiting and product piracy are a massive drain on the economy nowadays, and actually several times larger than human trafficking and drug trade combined. To be specific, the negative impact is to be estimated $4.2 trillion in 2025 by the OECD. But the problem goes way beyond the economical problem. Sometimes it puts the health and safety of consumers worldwide at risk. And to give you some numbers, every year $200 billion are spent on fake pharmaceuticals. 1.5 million automotive injuries are caused by fake car parts. The luxury goods industry has an estimated damage of $12 billion. And it is said that 2 to 5% of an airplane are prone to be counterfeited parts. What is the solution to all of that? Techbase. We are bridging the real world with the virtual one by using uncopyable and tamper-proof NFC tags, and the end customer can verify the products without a dedicated mobile application. Our users have advanced analytics. They know when and where their products have been scanned, and they can run their own analytics using our API access. Our generic design allows for basically representing any fungible or non-fungible asset. When it comes to our business model, we have a freemium model. We're selling pre-configured tags to our customers that are ready to use, but we also offer premium subscription. That is a yearly fee that our customers pay in order to have their own verification pages, advanced API access, or minting of blockchain tokens. And then we have the ad revenue. If you use the free version of our software, then on the first page of our verification page, you will see some ads. Of course, if you have the premium subscription, then you can disable that or show your own ads. What is the USP and what about our competition? Well, actually, we have a product authenticity solution that actually works. Because the solutions out there, they use QR codes or NFC tags with static data, can easily be copied and thus are not a product authenticity solution at all. Then there are solutions out there that are using dynamic data for with single scan verification. That can be copied as well. Then there are solutions out there that require you to install a dedicated app. And that's not a good solution in our opinion, because imagine you are in a store and there are different products using different solutions. You have to install different apps. That's not very user-friendly. And then there are holographic labels, and the same thing yields for them. You need to have a dedicated app most of the time. This is why we came up with our two-step verification process that doesn't require a dedicated mobile app, and we will also file a patent for our process on how we are doing that. I mentioned blockchain and minting of tokens before. We don't require a blockchain for our core use case of product authenticity, but as a layer on top to allow proof of ownership, we can integrate minting of tokens. And we have integrated Cardano for now, and we will also integrate Ethereum and Solana in the future. So basically, TagBase provides the product authenticity on the one hand and links it with the blockchain token in order to prove ownership on the other side. So actually, TagBase is more than just a product authenticity solution. It's the infrastructure for digital identities of physical objects. Or in other words, we are actually building the passport for physical goods. Trending topics and broadcasting are the two biggest social media technology blogs in Austria. They have already reported about us. We have been nominated for the Austrian SaaS Startup Award in 2022. This year we were nominated for the Austrian Blockchain Award. And in 2 weeks from now we are in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, because we have been nominated for the top 100 in the Entrepreneurship World Cup. To the current state, we have transitioned from a concept to reality with our prototype now in an operational and production environment. And we have set up all of our online presence on LinkedIn and so on, all of our social media channels. We are currently looking for 400,000 euro in our pre-seed round in order to get us 18 months of run rate, to set up the company, start hiring, start with business development and marketing actions, and onboard our first customers. When I say we, it's myself, Manuel Mertl. I've worked for the United Nations for different divisions, and then I've worked for a blockchain startup for 5.5 years in Vienna, London, and Zurich. And since 1 year, I'm now the CEO at TagBase. Then there is Mario Uha, our CTO. He was the CTO and co-founder of Yodel.io, which got acquired by Sendinblue, which is now called Brevo. And now he was there the tech lead, and since this year, he's also full-time at TagBase. And last but not least, Dr. Felix Exner. He has a background in law, and he currently works at an early stage VC in Zurich, Switzerland. Thank you for your attention. I'm looking forward to the questions.
Thank you, Manuel. Just to kick it off, that's another use case that's been around for a couple of years. I also have some experience with that because we had a startup in our own portfolio that was focusing on wine. And that's why I know there is more Bordeaux wine sold in China than produced in France. That's an interesting fun fact. So how would that work with wine?
Well, that's actually the use case that we started with also, with wine. It's you just used your NFC tag and put it behind the back label. And there is, we have two different kind of NFC tags. There are one that is tamper-proof. You can even put it above the bottle's top or just behind the label, and then you scan it. And if the bottle has the tag and it's valid, then it's a valid bottle.
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit with understanding. You said all the other solutions don't really work, but yours does.
Yes.
So, I mean, what exactly does your solution do?
Well, our solution doesn't require a mobile app. There are solutions out there that are working with a dedicated mobile app.
Oh, that's not what I'm asking. So why is your tag tamper-proof, and what is the underlying technology in your tag? And is your tag physical? What's the size of it?
Okay.
How do you embed it?
Okay, we are using the NFC tags from a company called NXP. To be more specific, it's the NTAG 424 DNA, which is built for this kind of use cases. And you can configure different keys on the tag. And every time you read that key generates a new hash, and you cannot foresee which hash will be next. And using that, the two hashes that we had when we scanned the product one after another, we can identify if the product is a real one or not.
All right, so we agreed that's not the uniqueness. The uniqueness is the...
The uniqueness is to use it without a dedicated mobile app.
And how does that work?
It's because we are using the data delta of this. So we have the same keys on the server side, and then we are comparing the data.
And you're saying you don't need the blockchain because
right,
what?
The blockchain is just an additional add-on. If you want to, with our solution, you can make sure that the product is the real thing, and then you can additionally mint the token that represents that thing. Other solutions out there are just using then, in the case of Cardano, the policy and the asset ID together and just write it in a static URL. But a static URL can be copied and can be put somewhere else. So you need that missing link, and TechBase is that missing link that can prove product authenticity and then links it to a token on the blockchain without just writing some kind of asset ID on some NFT chip and say, because the asset ID is on this chip, it's the real thing, or it represents that token.
Thank you very much. Mike from faculty here. You've mentioned that you're utilizing third-party NFC chips for your product.
Yes.
And at the same time, you're targeting a supply chain market which is full of large institutional players. My simple question would be, who is your target audience actually? Because it seems to me your solution is B2B2C with a unique value proposition, basically targeting a retail customer that is supposed to get benefit by you checking authenticity.
So the benefit for the end customer is to know that it's a real thing, and especially, for example, in the pharma industry, it's very important that the pills or whatever you buy is the real deal. And the companies that we are selling the chips to, so in this case, for example, a pharma company, like wants, of course, their users to be sure that they have the real deal.
Right. So how do you intend to tackle a problem that every such retail-oriented app has, and that is attracting the critical mass of users to be a valuable product? Because if I am let's say I'm buying my pills and my wine and Lambos like everyone else in Dubai, I would prefer one platform that has all of these. Then that platform has value for me. But for that, you need to achieve critical mass of users and products to really maximize that value. So what's your strategy to get there?
Our strategy for this is exactly don't have a dedicated mobile app. So anyone with your phone, you can just scan any of our tags without installing anything. So we don't need, the end customer is required to install hundreds of apps because hundreds of products are using different solutions.
Thank you very much, Manuel. We are heading to the next startup.
Thank you.
All right, hi everybody. My name's Aaron Mogwin. I'm one of the founders of Lendano, and I've had a long, really interesting career so far anyway, of working in all kinds of variety, all parts of the land development, land regulation, sustainable green land development space, doing really cool things and having a lot of success with some of them, many of them. But I got to tell you, Lendano's the one that I am the most excited about so far, and I hope you'll understand why in about 4 minutes. The problem is this: there's so many people around the world that cannot prove they have legal rights to their homes. 5.5 billion people around the world. 1 billion people are worried on a constant basis that they might actually lose their land or home or their farm that provides their family some income. And this is because they don't have documentation of their own land rights. They can't prove it. And there's a lot of outside forces trying to take over large pieces of land for various reasons: corruption, mining, a lot of things like that. And this provides, this means they can't build a lot of generational wealth like a lot of people in the West and global North can, because through home ownership and things like that. So we're going to help fix that. Unfortunately, current solutions do not work for that. The 10-year registry process is where it works even well is cumbersome and outdated. It's difficult to access, disorganized, and previous efforts have failed as well, especially blockchain efforts. And the reason is they start at the top. They start at the most centralized point of entry. And what it looks like to the market is they've added on to a thing they already don't like and don't understand very well and don't want to work with, and now it's just one more thing that is adds to the complication. We're different. We start at the grassroots level and partner with the users and local governments, usually where there's little to no competition at all, and we build a new infrastructure for people to use to make everything more efficient and actually build lots of new revenue streams for both local governments and local users. And we're starting in Africa. Why? Why are we starting in Africa? Why is no one else starting in Africa? I can't answer the second question really, but I can answer why we're starting there. It's because there's a unique legal structure that allows us to do really instant, low friction deals with the local leaders out there who have authority over their land use and everything in their communities like that. And there's basically a competitive vacuum because there's no access to the typical system of proving land rights. And customers want it yesterday. There's a total vacuum, and there's a track record of adopting new tech too in Africa, things like mobile phones. So we have two versions of our product. The mobile version is for individual users, and it looks pretty much like this. It simplifies land security. You can show people your proof of your land title or your lease or something like that, just instantly on your mobile phone, and see what your neighbors are up to too. And also creates multiple revenue streams I'll talk about in a second. We have a browser interface for local governments. This has more functions, and you can run filters and see what the whole community is doing in different ways all at the same time, and kind of manage things that way. We're starting with the government users in Ghana. We've got a verbal commitment from local representatives, local leaders of about 5 million people to use our product. We should be onboarding them. We should be reaching out to them for onboarding, starting next year, early next year. In Mozambique, we've already uploaded 25,000 land records to people. Well, no, people's land records to our platform, and it's already on platform. We'll be making it available to them by the end of this year, very soon. And we have some modest goals to hit there, and we'll be expanding to 70,000 individuals. At least that's our target by the end of next year. We've also got a really nice balanced team here. I think this is really one of our uniquely fantastic assets. We've got Peter, who has had a successful, he successfully started the world's most widely used digital archive platforms, had a successful exit, and now he's really involved in Cardano and has been for a while. He's out here somewhere. Say hi to him later. Come check out our booth. Doris is a full stack developer with a lot of success too, building something from nothing and then releasing it to the world successfully. He's also got a lot of experience programming in Cardano. I've already told you a little bit about myself. I've got a lot of I've done a lot of different things in the land use and land development mapping space, and I'm really excited about this project. Dan's our Chief Marketing Officer. He's based in Canada, but he's got a lot of experience in Africa, mediating with land disputes. His father's actually a chief in rural Ghana, which is a great asset for us. Our global growth strategy is very simple. We build traction in Africa at the grassroots level, like I said. A couple years, work out the kinks, sand off the pointy bits, and turn it into something that we can partner with at a larger scale and really build some revenue. And that's what I'm going to talk about here. We have 6 different revenue streams, usually taking commissions from deals that happen on our platform or recurring revenue, things like lease payments. But 2 in the near term are going to be the subscription signups, recurring annual revenue from individual users, and land transfers, like buying and selling property. So let's drill down into that. Let me just kind of explain how that works and why the scalability is so interesting here. If you take these average values, this is for a typical city of 2 million people-ish in somewhere like India. That's kind of where I'm getting these numbers from. And just over 1 year, if we take 0.3% of every transfer, you wind up with $22 million in revenue just from this one deal. And that's kind of how we get to this scalability of income, of revenue. We've done a partnership with Mendex, a low-code platform with 200,000 individual users that we're all going to be potentially bringing onto Cardano because we're building a Mendex plugin to develop things on Cardano in partnership with Mendex. And over the next year or so, like I said, we're going to sand off the edges with users in Africa in our 2 markets, maybe 3 markets. And then once we're ready for that, we'll start partnering with bigger governments and more individuals around the world, and that's when our revenue should jump to something really significant and scaled. And that's our story. We really hope you can be along for the ride with our success. And it's been a great ride so far. And I'd love to hear any of your questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I am curious to find out the legality of the land rights, and in particular, can it be challenged? Because from what I heard, that you're working with local village chiefs who might be the authority, but could there be fault lines within it, in the sense that if he passes away, the next generation might come back and dispute that validity of that ownership. So I want you to just clarify that, because that seems to be the single point of failure to legitimize the credibility of this land rights.
So you're asking if the local leader passes away and then his successor,
yes,
has a different idea?
Or maybe a subsequent generation might challenge the ownership with the sibling rivalry and so on and so forth.
Well, so I mean that is the crux of it. These individuals are kind of, these leaders, these chiefs, they're invested in the success of, the happiness of their community. They are the government, and that's the great advantage, and I guess potentially disadvantage. I don't really hear about that happening very often, but I guess it could happen. But I have no reason to worry about that, because like at an individual level, these individual leaders work in partnership with, in Ghana, it's the Ghana Lands Commission. And so the records that they verbally authorize become certificates working with us that are filed also in the Ghana Lands Office. And so it would be hard. I mean, I guess that's possible, but there'd be a lot of friction, a lot of high switching costs there, really, I guess you could call it, to try to change that. I would say. And so having Landano as a place where these records live, other than in the mind of the leader or in a file cabinet somewhere, can really help that problem out.
Hey, I'm a big fan, as you know.
All right.
But is there, I mean, the enterprise part I get the legalities, I get the market opportunity. I'm just wondering, is there some kind of a token flying around, or are you really just hardcore enterprise blockchain solving a concrete problem?
Yeah, no tokens, no tokens. Each one of these, like our Mozambique land right certificates, each one of those turns into minimum 2 and sometimes more than 2 NFTs. One for the individual owner, and then one or more for the owners if there's more than one owner of the land. And then whatever rights there are, if it's a lease or if it's a mining permit or grazing, those are also NFTs. No tokens.
Hi, yes, thanks for the great presentation. I guess my question is more so a clarification. So I understand this problem wherein you have all these people who are struggling to prove land ownership. Is the situation that you're directly dealing with in Ghana that the records themselves don't exist, or it's just that the people don't have access to them? So if it's both, so when you're saying these numbers that you've brought certain records already on chain, so these would be records that existed somewhere and you've digitized them?
So the records that we've already uploaded on chain just now, like in the last couple of weeks or so, we're working with a nonprofit called Terra Firma. They've really done the dirty work, the hard work in the field in Mozambique, like creating the land records. They just needed a platform for their people to access them, and that's where we came in. We partnered with them. So that's the individual records that we're uploading. In Ghana, we're going to partner with the actual kind of government scale, local government scale, and do a whole community at once. I don't know.
Yeah, and in the last 3 seconds, so if the records themselves just simply don't exist, is it then just based on the word of the village leader or the relevant authority, and then just verbally they're saying this is the record, the statement of fact?
And you can spend a lot of time traveling to wherever the nearest office is and spend a lot of money getting your records created, or you can work with your local leader who is partnered with Landano and build it more or less quickly and cheaply through our platform. All right, thank you everybody.
So I'm the founder of Alethea, which is a comprehensive search and analytics platform for Cardano. So imagine a future where blockchains power a seamless and secure global economy. In this decentralized economy, users will generate massive amounts of openly available transaction data through countless applications. Within these vast data streams are insights into markets, investments, and economic trends. However, without the right tools to process and visualize this data, these insights will remain locked away. So Alethea is building Cardano's intelligence layer, which is intends to enable users to track their portfolio, explore on-chain activity, and ultimately make smarter financial decisions using data. So we anticipate over the next decade Cardano to grow massively in both scale and breadth. We already have today hundreds of dApps, thousands of pools, and millions of tokens, which makes informed decision-making amongst these various entities difficult, even for savvy investors. And Cardano intends to onboard millions of new users over the next few years who will undoubtedly find themselves overwhelmed and lost amongst this complexity. So Alethea intends to help Cardano users sort through the noise through a powerful and intuitive data platform. The foundation for this platform is a robust and scalable data processing framework. We are building an open source indexing engine which transforms raw blockchain data into a more easily consumable, queryable form. And then we take this index data, combine it with off-chain data sources in order to fuel algorithms that compute metrics and provide insights into on-chain activity. On top of this rich data set, we've built an extremely intuitive user interface. And the goal of this user interface is to be simple enough for newcomers to use without sacrificing the advanced features that a lot of more advanced users would like to see. So Alethea enables users to discover and explore the Cardano ecosystem. In the future, we want to be able to use predictive analytics to provide users with services and products that they might be interested in, simply by the user connecting their wallet. Alethea also has a really cool search as you type feature, which allows you to find anything on the blockchain. This was one of the problems that kind of provoked the birth of Alethea, and it's kind of like Google for Cardano, if you will. In the future, we intend to integrate large language models into our system in order to enable users to query Cardano simply through natural language. So Cardano also allows you to monitor everything from your pools to your portfolio. The main advantage of Alethea is its design and its vision for something that's easy for everyday users to use. We're also a comprehensive data platform, so we integrate features from all of your favorite explorers into one location, ensuring that you don't never have to leave the site to find information about Cardano. We also emphasize search as a powerful tool for finding information that you are looking for. So search, sort, and filter to find basically anything you want on the Cardano blockchain. So in terms of monetization, as a data platform, we have several paths towards monetization, namely advertising, premium subscriptions, API services, and protocol intermediation. So with advertising, basically as our daily active user count grows, we have the ability to we become attractive digital real estate for pools, tokens, and dApps to advertise themselves. And you can see an example here of how we might do that kind of advertising. We also think there's a market for advanced analytics and portfolio tracking. And as our analytics become more sophisticated, we can charge users for access to these tools. API services, so we have comprehensive data infrastructure, and we can enable downstream applications to use our infrastructure through an API. And finally, one of the most interesting is protocol intermediation. So currently we're a read-only interface, but in the future we want to enable users to actually take actions through our application and interact directly with the Cardano blockchain. And users would be hopefully willing to pay a small fee for that extra convenience. So I have a few prominent team members on my team, but they couldn't make it here today in person. And I'm a software engineer, and I've been working on this project for about 3 years. So we have a beta that's live now, and in the future we want to continue to build out this tool, integrate more DApp protocols. We currently have 5 DEXs. We want to improve the front-end capabilities and add more portfolio tracking features. So yeah, check out the platform. We're on Startup Street, so we'd love to hear feedback and any suggestions for features you'd like to see. Thank you.
Sure, just a quick one to get us started. Are there specific functions on your platform that are not available on alternate platforms, or is it more of a just improving the user experience and help to organize the data, or is there something beyond that that is unique to your platform?
Yeah, so currently the unique element is definitely just refining and improving the sort of approach that a lot of other explorers have taken. But we anticipate that we would be able to, we've kind of created a foundation, like as I just talked about, the data processing framework that kind of allows us to add new features quickly. So over the next 6 months, we anticipate we'll be able to create new features that don't exist anywhere else. The search feature is definitely something unique. I don't think that sort of functionality exists anywhere at the moment.
Thank you.
I'm trying to understand who exactly are the users. Do you have a much more narrower user band that you're thinking about? And how do you go about acquiring them?
Yeah, so do you mean by narrow, do you mean just on Cardano?
Yes.
Yeah, so we feel that there's a need for analytics on Cardano, and we've seen many tools that are very prominent in the ecosystem be successful. And like, we really want to focus on acquiring users outside of the Cardano ecosystem as well by bringing them in and showing them what is available on Cardano through our interface.
And how are you thinking about monetizing that?
The bringing in new users?
Yes.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we're mainly through premium subscriptions, so offering like tools and analytics that are unique and give investors an advantage in the market.
Thank you. First of all, Alexander, thank you very much for not including phrase "data is new oil" in your presentation, like every big data startup for the last 20 years. But there is a truth to it, and as with every data startup, the value of startup is in the data. Now, big topic in data processing always is data proximity, classification, distribution, analytics, identification. Do you have any specific plan how to produce this rich data, how to discover the hidden meaning in the data that it can be then further monetized either directly to retail consumers or to enterprise level integrators?
Yeah, for sure. So like you mentioned, the data is freely available on the blockchain, which is both advantageous and disadvantageous. But the main value that we see as being able to extract from that data is understanding how individual protocols work and extracting insights from those protocols. So in order to calculate metrics for DEXs or lending protocols, you have to have intimate understanding of how the smart contracts work. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So that's one angle. And then using that insight to actually build interfaces with those protocols directly. So a combination of being able to extract insights and then act on those insights directly through the platform.
And a follow-up question as a fellow developer. Do you intend to provide a curated data classification through your API, for example? You identify what is the important data from your perspective, or do you seek to create some more generic way for users and or integrators to explore, for example, these proximities in the data or the hidden things? Some startups intend to create, for example, their own query language that would allow for detailed data processing. Others provide, for example, bundles of classified and specified data. What is your approach to this problem of extracting value from data?
To be honest, we haven't really thought that far ahead, but I think both are possible. We're sort of trying to figure out where the needs are. We just released the beta. We're going to see what the response is from the community. So yeah, anything's possible. I think this idea of LLMs is actually really interesting in that you can, if we can create a generic enough interface for models to be able to interact with the data layer, then that abstracts this whole like query side of things, and the models can figure out how to actually perform the queries against your API in order to return the data that the user is interested in.
Give it up for Alexander. Thank you very much.
Testing. Hello, some new friends and old friends. I'm Hinson, the CEO and co-founder of Delta DeFi. So I'm here to talk about what my project is about and everything. So Cardano got a liquidity problems. I think everyone's know. So where does the liquidity come from? In the global crypto trading markets, there's 100 trillion annual trading volume in cryptos. However, of which 90% of them are traded by professional traders and con traders. So what are those con traders thinking about? Like, they want to really profit from the trading strategy that they found that give them 0.1% profits in second. So once they formulate the trading strategy, they start to think about, oh, where should I execute the strategy? They will quickly come to a conclusion that it's impossible to do it on DeFi. Why? You have to wait for blockchain confirmation. Whereas still, most of the swap that offer you a huge slippage. Then the 0.1% profit slip away in seconds. So not everyone got the privilege to trade on legitimate and regulated exchanges like LCX and so forth due to the complex regulatory landscape. However, when they really try to trade, it comes to the generic problem of trading digital assets. They have two routes. First, go for a centralized exchange. A lot of them are pretty shady, that they really have to trust the fund depositor into that exchange, not stealing the fund. If they go for the DeFi, it comes with the second problems, like the product diversity is not there, basic primitive of trading is not there, instant confirmation, no. Placing order, canceling order, it takes some gas fee also. So it's super difficult to trade on DeFi. Whereas still, usually DeFi protocols are more costly, and also the API integration, technical integration is super painful. This is where we come into play. Delta DeFi is a company that we build a software to empower the industry level trading experience in a non-custodial way. So eventually we want to tap into 3 markets. First of all, is without a doubt, we will be on the DeFi on Cardano, where we bring the standard trading experience, instant order confirmation, zero cost placing order, canceling order, API trading onto Cardano. And then in the future, we will also tap into centralized exchange market. Like, we help to innovate the non-custodial centralized exchange or regulated exchange to empower the next level of fund safety. Since we're building on top of UTXO technology, and according to our research, the central banks love it. So it also opens a door into the future collaboration with CBDCs and government entities. Just take a super quick look into how it feels. Imagine this is a Cardano wallet and you connect it. The speed and everything is there. The secret sauce of it, I guess a lot of the Cardano veteran will know, is we strive for building the best empowered by the Hydra technology, which is a L2 solutions that a state channels that we could technically scale it to the infinite level. With that, on Cardano DeFi, we're able to bring the Binance UX. What does it mean by Binance UX? You deposit into a non-custodial account, you trade, just with the same API interface with Binance. You don't have to care about the Cardano technology. Our team helps to abstract everything. We also built in with a vault. This is where the DeFi liquidity could meet the traditional finance trading professionals. Like you could stick to a vault, select your trusted traders, then you could happy with the yield. And I will explain a little bit about this later. And also we have a protocol that with the fairness and everything built in the core in our mind. Like we open the trading node, market data so that everyone could prove that our team doesn't really front run anyone. In the competitive landscape, we strive for maximizing user experience and trader experience. That we try to match the centralized exchange trading experience, meanwhile with our manager service. And also with that in mind, we believe that we open up a new segment of customer in Cardano or across ecosystem. Those segment is core, it care about non-custodial fund safety, but also care about the centralized exchange trading experience. Eventually, we believe that all of the players, us included, existing DAS or CESs, we are the complementary service. Because so far for our research, no trader really trade on a single platform. They really have to have different platform, price inefficiency to find arbitrage opportunity to profit from it. So we are here to just fill the segment and grow the pie bigger together. Our business model, super straightforward, just transaction fee per trade. We estimated on Cardano mainnet launch could bring us to the first million of annual revenue, and also with an integration with a regulated exchange project, which is also our committed seed investors, will bring it into the 10 million mark, which I will also explain later. We all know that liquidity is a problem in Cardano, so I spent a slide of here to explain it. And we got a proprietary solution for it. We have established a partnership with NightSafe, which is one of the startup ecosystem in Hong Kong we have, to build a trading vault connected with Delta DeFi. So NightSafe is a successful project. They integrated with GMX and successfully bring in 30 million plus total value lock and more than 100 million trading volume. So we built it with them. How it works is super, super simple. It's just like how I explained. DeFi users, you have our ADA or stablecoin, stick to a vault, select your trusted traders, and the trader could generate yield for you. If you're not happy with the yield anytime, you could just withdraw it. With this, since the traditional trader, the cost of fund is super expensive, they usually ask for 40% annual revenue. Like if you ask them to use their money to trade, usually they will say no. But for DeFi users, usually we are not that sophisticated. Probably we are happy to 5 to 10% yield. This is how we solve the capital efficiency, bridging the gap between the demand and supply. And yeah, so this is how we approach go-to-market. And we also obtain the validation from community. Everything of this is funded by Project Catalyst at the beginning, since the concept and then towards the MVP. So we are now already having our first version of Alpha launch. And last month, we slightly pivoted to Hydra. So we put our progress a little bit later. And we are trying to build a Hydra product and really bring the high-frequency trading possible. In the future, we have two directions. One is dive deep into Cardano. With our technology, we estimate that we could essentially open up our Binance app, look into each logo to build each product one by one onto Cardano. And we could be the Binance of Cardano. And also, it will also integrate with DeFi, which is our committed seed investors into the impact banking solution. AKA is a regulated exchange for those unbanked and also having retail banking and yeah, so forth. And we'll be the trading engine of them. This is a huge go-to-market and the state level of collaboration is ongoing discussion. I think our team has got the best mix of traditional finance and blockchain technology. Me, myself, is an engineer, but I'm a chartered financial analyst, CFA holder. And from the finance side, we got the experience of private banking, corporate banking, trading, theses. We know the problem in and out, and we know what we are solving, who we are serving. Also, from the technology point of view, I think we got the best engineer in our team. We are the Cardano open source library maintainer, And also, we are very happy to have Crypto.com blockchain engineer to be our CTO. And also, we are honored to have the EMURGO engineer to be our founding member. So, yeah, we're in the stage really trying to see for collaborations. So I open the floor for questions.
Thanks, Vincent. Nice presentation. I like the Binance of Cardano. It's it clearly shows your vision. My question is about user adoption. So as with centralized exchanges and DEXs, user adoption and bringing them on is difficult. Apart from the NightSafe partnership, what's your ideas and what's the kind of strategy to bring on that next million users that you've mentioned in the deck?
Yep. I think for the user adoption, it comes into two parts. So since our desk is more of serving the part of the more complex users, so we really try to target one by one the trader networks across us. Like our founding team, more than half of us are working in a reputable financial institution before. I was an executive management trainee and also got Credit Suisse and so forth. So we got an extensive network to really talk to the hedge funders and anything. So we try to onboard them one by one. This project is also what we come to after talking to so much of real traders, crypto traders, that, yeah, essentially they could retire anytime. So, yeah, so I think this is one direction. Another direction is come into the corporate partnership with DeFi, which is our seed investors. There are already more than 100K of pilot users awaiting when their impact banking solution is out. And there is a part of FX, essentially super simple. For example, I want to send my Hong Kong dollar to US dollar. FX essentially is a trade. There's also our kind of huge go-to-market opportunity. But in general, for the Cardano community, I will see we're more of putting it live and see how it goes. Yeah.
Thank you, Hinson. In your slides, you heavily touted high-frequency trading as one of your UVPs. At the same time, you plan to start as a DEX, which obviously brings problems like transaction confirmation times. What is your solution then to challenges? Are you trading against some virtual book? If so, how do you handle finality, settlement, and persistence and problems of double spend? Or do you have some variable fund that sources this settlement?
Yep, this is a very good question. So this is a part of our hard grinds that the gist of it is once user deposit into our app, we control every single UTXO states and immediate spending power. That means without our multi-sig, they could not spend it immediately. Since we are still non-custodial, they could withdraw, but have to wait. So that's why we could give a notice before they want to move their UTXO. Then we control every state, so to prevent all the double satisfaction and everything. So essentially, when you hit our API, I'm 100% confirmed that that particular trade will pass through, since I know that all the inputs are not touched. It's that simple. But yeah, a lot of software engineering behind the scene, like how we control the state, how we route different orders together, audible engines, and so forth, yeah.
So just for clarification, the asset still stays on chain with the user. There is no hot wallet, but they give you a spending permissions, and then you ensure the finality and settlement of the transaction in the matching engine by basically computing the state at the end of next block.
Yep.
For all the transactions in given market.
Giving out all the spending permission, but have to be multi-sig. Like they do one, for example, a trade. They want to play minimum order a certain price, certain quantity. It has to obtain their signature and our signatures so that we could spend it immediately. If we want to, we cannot spend it ourselves. The user, if they want to withdraw it themselves, they have to wait for example, 5 minutes. That's the notice time that we can cancel all their orders, so that to still get guaranteeing the order finality to other users. Yeah.
And a follow-up question. So since this is all taking place in a chain without a centralized messaging engine, let's say Alice, Bob, and Charlie all want to execute a trade at the same time for the same price and competing for the same liquidity. How do you resolve this conflict of access and ensure that there is no double spend?
Yeah, I think essentially there is a single thread audible engines there. So everyone is super simple price time priority. Just depends on the millisecond that they enter into the service. Then they reroute to different orders. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Henson. We are moving on to the next startup.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? All right, let's go. I want to talk a little bit about GenWealth and how we want to give you more safety while using crypto and provide peace of mind. And for that, I have a question. Do you all know how large is the problem of crypto recovery? Well, it's pretty big. And if we take a look here at Bitcoin, it's estimated by Chainalysis that around 20% of the entire supply of Bitcoin is lost forever due to the lack of a recovery mechanism for cryptocurrency. And at today's prices, that equates around 220 billion. And just imagine everything we could do with these funds, how we could change the world. It's a problem that is also faced by all blockchains, and Bitcoin just shows us the roadmap. And it's a problem so big that we have major layer ones coming together, such as Cardano, Hedera, XRP, Algorand, to try to find a solution. And it's a problem with a face, my face, your face, and the face of Alice here. Alice is an avid crypto user. She self-custodies her own crypto because it's the safest thing to do. She uses dApps, she holds a considerable amount of her total wealth in crypto, and she's worried. She's worried because she has no plan to leave her crypto to her family or no plan to recover it. Why? Because all the solutions she found involve too much risk. The risk of losing your crypto while you're alive. It requires a lot of trust. You have to share your seed phrase with either intermediaries or with your family members. Or high complexity, like multi-sigs that Alice and her family cannot use, or scripts. And it's curious to see how blockchain was created to remove the need of trust between parties, but for crypto recovery and inheritance, we require so much trust. And we thought there needs to be a better way. And that's why we created GenWealth, a crypto inheritance and recovery dApp, where you can manage your funds normally, as you do with your wallet currently, your self-custodial wallet. But on top of that, you can define rules for crypto recovery for yourself and for your family. And it's really simple. You come on to our dApp, you connect your wallet, you're able to create your own unique vault, is your own unique smart contract only you control. You set rules for yourself to recover your crypto if you lose the seed phrase, for your beneficiaries, where you can even specify the specific assets you want to leave to each beneficiary. You deposit your tokens, you're able to manage them normally, and if something happens, you have the key to be able to claim this cryptocurrency back respecting your rules. The great part about all this, about our dApp, is that it's self-custodial. Only you control your assets. There's no intermediaries. We are leveraging smart contracts to make this happen, and everything happens on chain. And it introduces some very interesting advantages for users. It removes the need to share your seed phrase. You have a better way to, pass on your crypto so you can keep it safer. There's no trust. It's just your rules executed by your smart contract. It gives you peace of mind, which is super important. To sleep at night knowing that if something happens, you'll be able to recover your crypto, everything you conquered, and your family will be able as well. And it's cheaper than traditional existing solutions while providing you with more control and assurance over your assets. We do have some competitors in this space. We have, for example, Inherity that also manages and distributes digital assets. They require specific hardware, so it's a bit of a complex process. They are focused on vChain and trying to go multi-chain as well. Then we have Sarcophagus, a dead-man switch protocol, all on chain as well, but they are more focused on the part of creating and encrypting documents to make them available after death. And we have Unchained, which is a multi-sig inheritance protocol for Bitcoin. It requires a little bit more trust, is more similar to traditional services. In terms of the team building this, we have myself. I have 5 years of experience managing projects and teams in Web2 startups, tech startups, 7 years overall working in that industry, even worked in a inheritance will, online will company setting it up. and contributing to crypto and Cardano ecosystem since 2020, Project Catalyst, deep funding, and many projects in the meanwhile. Then we have Ariadne, a developer with 14 years of experience, a lot of experience in fintech, 2.5 years as a Cardano full stack developer. He's also a technical consultant for EMURGO. But the vision is not only that. The vision is not only Cardano and other blockchains. We want to move into the inheritance industry in the long run, where there is a lot of potential and where trillions of dollars are moved. And this is because our app really increases productivity and decreases costs by facilitating the process of locating and distributing these assets. And we believe we can create a very interesting partnership with these firms where they can help us tokenize more assets into blockchain to be managed on GenWealth. If you like what you see here, we have our testnet available for the first time here in the Cardano Summit. You can check it out at our startup booth at the top. Test it out and let's continue the conversation. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, Lynn, and I love your t-shirt. Compliment to your marketing team. One issue that struck me immediately with the idea is that basically you're transferring the assets into your wallet solution, which makes sense, otherwise you would need to send a private key or something. This problem in my mind can be mitigated, however, and actually turned into an advantage, because if the assets are stuck in there and I have nothing to do with them, yeah, it's not an attractive solution for me. But if you utilize this fact that you have a semi-custody of these assets in your ecosystem, and for example, provided integrations with some trading solutions, some DeFi integrations, or some sources of yield, suddenly you're turning a last will into a productive asset that can actually appreciate over time. Do you have any such plans? Do you have any partners in discussions that would provide these capabilities? What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah. All right, great question, thank you. Just to make it clear, we have no control over the assets of the users. Everything is self-custodial. So you create your vault and you're the one who controls it. In terms of DeFi, that's a great point, and I think exactly, we need to be able to manage our assets very easily while we are alive and to do whatever we want with them, try to get yield, whatever it is. So our idea is to integrate with all DeFi platforms on Cardano, which we know we can do, and we'll have an API for that to connect with these platforms. And to be honest, what we envision, what we really want to see, is for people to be able to go through our app and have a tab where they have DeFi, have a tab where they have whatever they want, see those platforms, and they can directly assess them through there without having to move away to another place, simply by integrating their front ends and by connecting to their smart contracts. That would be the vision on that aspect.
Just to build on that answer, is the design such that if I've set up a vault with you and then down the road there is an opportunity for me to put my assets to work and start generating yield, for example, put it in a lending platform on Cardano, is the vault designed such that I will still be receiving the protections that the vault provides now that the assets are staked in a completely separate DeFi protocol? Or do I lose that while my assets are active as currently designed?
All right. Yeah, that's exactly the part where we cannot do that simply right now. We need to have an integration exactly for that, so that you can already claim all the assets you have in the wallet, but so that you can claim as well the positions that are open with that account. But basically, yeah, so the vault is associated to the app as it is, and our idea is when basically you claim, it will claim all the positions you have open and claim the assets normally that are already standing there.
Right, but if I were to die whilst the assets are actively generating yield prior to claim, is there a path forward, you think, wherein those assets could also be recovered via the vault, or is that situation such that I'm kind of out of luck?
Yes, it will be claiming those positions for when your beneficiary is claiming their part, so you can share different shares. They'll be able to claim what we call a subsection, a pocket, and they have the access over that pocket. So when they claim, they could claim the assets, and they would claim the positions that would bring the assets back to be claimed. and then they can manage them. But that would be the only way. We couldn't like let it run for it to be claimed later. Once it's claimed, we would need to claim everything, positions and assets.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rafael. On to the next startup.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ling. I'm co-founder of Cardano, the top staking bond issuance and the only secondary market for bond trading on Cardano. And our mission is to help people optimize their yield in the decentralized ecosystem. Oh, sorry, I cannot see. Okay, as you see, you know, in Cardano, the DeFi rely heavily on DEXs. As you see, 6 out of 10 top TVL in Cardano are DEXs compared to Ethereum, where 8 out of 10 top platforms are lending or yield-based. This leaves Cardano lacking in fixed income options, and as a result, investors in Cardano face more volatility and unstable returns. And this gap is a debt market open an opportunity for Cardano to unlock a billions of dollar market. And our solution is to build a decentralized yield boosting platform in this debt market. And first, we diversify investment options to cater a wider range of investors. And next, we unlock the secondary debt market, allow people to trade the debt instruments. And finally, we try to build the platforms and tools to simplify the complexity of DeFi and attract more people to join the DeFi. And our solution adds values by offering more investment options, which are more stable and predictable returns compared to meme coin trading. And we also make capital use more efficient. Our secondary debt market allows people to access leverage without selling their underlying assets. And I think this will improve the liquidity and also enhance the Cardano ecosystem. And to bring our solution to life, we built the first and only bond DEX on Cardano, and there were 24 million of ADA traded on our bond DEX. And we also introduced Cardano staking bond, allow people to lend and borrow ADA staking right. And all our smart contracts are open source. In addition to the bond DEX, we have just completed the geo aggregator, starting with Liquid, and soon we will expand to LandFi and other protocols. And by simplifying how people find the most suitable yield, we are not only helping people discover better opportunity, but also make the debt market more accessible to everyone. And as you see, we are consistently delivering new features to the market. And looking ahead, we will introduce fixed rate borrowing feature, bring stability and to all the investor, and the interest rate swap market allow people to manage risk and hedge against the geo volatility. And with the decentralized fund management, we will enable the on-chain open-ended fund that can connect investor with capital-ready member, and we are committed to turning our vision into reality. Behind our solution is a team of experts. My co-founder Bing, he has background as fixed income trader, and he also co-founded 2 tech unicorn, Canada, Vietnam, which were acquired by C Group, the billions of dollar company listed on NYSE, and VN Life, the billions of dollar company now in Vietnam. Tukana has been working for over 12 years in software development, and our team has over a decade working together in Web 2. Now moving to Web 3, we are decentralization maximism. That's why all our smart contracts are open source, ensuring security, transparency, and trust in everything we build to grow the DeFi. And we try to open more opportunity for people in the debt market. And I hope you enjoy our journey. Thank you for listening. And We have booth here. You can go, come by and check out. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Let me kick this off. We haven't really ever talked about how the projects are set up, incorporated, is it token-based? And I'm referring to team incentivization and team structuring and how you're handling future team members joining your team. So you've showed us 4 people, if I'm correct, that are in your team currently. Do they have shares? Do you have a company incorporated? How is the share allocation? Do you have an option plan for new team members joining? Is everything token-based? Please elaborate on that.
Actually, we have a team in Vietnam. We're based on Vietnam. Actually, we have a company there, but the company worked for Web2. And then now we moved to Web3 with several projects in Web3. Danogo is one, and we have also the other called Neo and so on. Yeah.
Now, as an investor, I'm very much interested that you put all your energy on one project, and in this case on Danogo. How can you make sure that if you have several projects going on, that you can put enough energy, enough dedication to this very project?
Actually, our company in Vietnam had a quite big, with more than 300 people. So we have a lot of team. Each team concentrating to one. And then with this one team, they focus on one goal, on one object for the product only. Then after that, they concentrate everything to the product to build the product better and to make it launch on the ecosystem.
Are they incentivized? Do they own shares in the project? Do they own tokens? Or do they have a prospect of getting tokens?
We are not just setting because we are even don't have the ISPO, the tokenomics yet, because we wait for the lawyer to finalize everything. So maybe we're going to have, but now we don't have defined yet.
So if I understand correctly, now it's a larger corporate that has different projects, which is the sole beneficiary of, if anything, of this goes to the moon.
Yeah, yeah.
So, core of the idea of Danogo is allowing people to take advantage of fixed income and variable income products, which obviously includes debt trading. What are your sources of debt? Is it a retail-to-retail lending and borrowing, or where do these productive assets come from?
We will try to collaborate with other debt, like LandFi or Liquid. We build a geo-aggregator on top of them to make people easy to access the debt market, and also for the borrowing fixed term for fixed rate borrowing, or even for fixed term deposit. We cooperate with Liquid. For example, if people want to borrow something, we can maybe we can make the liquidity from the one who provide liquidity for the fixed rate, fixed term deposit, and people who borrow from us, we will get the collateral and put back to Liquid for get the yield. And it's also make the yield for the lending or borrowing better, because we have put into the other protocol to get the yield.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And since your target is fixed income, do you plan to introduce some sort of derivative products, for example, yield-bearing bonds or some futures, options, something like that, that is powered by the underlying sources of fixed income?
We may think about the interest rate swap for the, we try to make something like Pendle in Ethereum. We try to separate the token, like the yield-bearing token, into principal and yield, and we try to make an interest swap market, allow people to swap the principal. I mean that a zero coupon bond, and the other like a yield, for people to get like easy to hedge against the yield volatility.
Thank you very much, Lynn. You were our last participant, so we are through with all the pitches for today. Thank you so much, all the founders. We are now going to put our heads together and hopefully come up with the winners that are going to be presented tomorrow at the dinner. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.